Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. So today we're diving straight into some truly fascinating insights from neurologist Dr. Sid Warrior. We're talking all about your brain and more specifically, how to fix a struggling memory. If you've ever felt like your brain is just randomly hitting the delete key on important files, you are in the absolute right place. We're going to break down 5 highly effective memory exercises, focusing strictly on what they are and the immediate benefits they can bring to your daily life. Let's be real, how many times has this happened to you just this week? You stand up, you stroll into the kitchen or the living room, and then absolute blank. You have absolutely no idea why you just walked in there. It's a little terrifying, right? It immediately pokes at that common nagging fear we all share about losing our cognitive sharpness. And, it's not just the classic doorway effect either. Maybe you run into a colleague you've known for 2 whole years, and their name just completely evaporates from your mind. Or maybe you're reading a really gripping book, but by the time you hit the end of the paragraph, you're like, wait, how did this start? If these things are happening to you, seriously, take a deep breath. Let me reassure you, as Dr. Warrior points out, this isn't necessarily a sign of you getting older. It's simply your brain struggling to retain information. Think of it more like a temporary hardware glitch. And the incredibly good news is that we can absolutely fix it. But before we get to the actual exercises, we need a super quick 60-second neuroscience lesson, because understanding this one concept, it pretty much changes everything. Memory is not like filing papers away neatly in some mental filing cabinet. Instead, memory is a web. Picture a massive spiderweb made entirely of interconnected facts. Every single piece of information is linked to several other things. If you miss one thread, you might struggle to recall another. But the stronger the connection between 2 facts, the easier it is to remember one when you think of the other. You literally have billions of neurons up there sharing data. And the crucial point here is this golden rule of neuroscience. Neurons that fire together, wire together. The stronger they fire in sync, the tighter that web gets, and the better your memory becomes. All right, let's dive into this. Our first exercise is called the recall walk. When you finish reading a chapter, don't just jump right into the next one. Close the book, get up, go for a walk, and try to recall everything you just read while you're moving. The immediate benefit to your daily life here is that physical movement releases dopamine, which acts like a biological highlighter, locking that valuable information way deeper into your brain. And building right on the back of that, here is a quick pro tip you can use on your recall walk. As you're strolling along, actually imagine that you are teaching a friend what you've just read. Just having that visual image in your head of teaching someone else forces your brain to logically organize the information, making it stick much, much better. Moving on. Our second technique is playing working memory games, like Duel and Back. Basically, you have a friend read a sequence of random numbers out loud, you listen, keep them in your head, skip one, and try to match the current number with the one you heard 2 steps ago. Sounds tricky, I know, but the immediate benefit is that this physically expands your brain's capacity to juggle multiple pieces of information at the exact same time. To put that into perspective, just think of your brain like a computer. Your working memory, that's your RAM. The less RAM you have, the less information your system can hold on to without crashing. And if your working memory is low, your overall memory is going to suffer. Pushing yourself with games like Duel and Back literally upgrades your brain's RAM. Okay, our third exercise is a classic, the memory palace. To do this, you tie new information to a familiar room or a geographical space that you know really well. The immediate benefit to your daily life is huge. It essentially hijacks your brain's primitive, built-in spatial recognition, allowing you to easily recall long, boring lists, like, say, 10 random grocery items. So how do we actually build one of these? Well, step 1, give the piece of information importance. Literally tell your brain, hey, I really need to remember you. Step 2, connect it to a familiar geography. For instance, if you have that grocery list of 10 items, vividly visualize each of those items sitting in a different corner of your own bedroom. When you physically get to the supermarket, you just mentally navigate your way through the 3D space of your room. Honestly, you'll be amazed at how easily you can pull those facts right back up. And the more you practice this, the more you can expand your palace and add new rooms. Exercise number 4 is just to learn something new. Pick up a new language, try a musical instrument, or even just learn a brand new way to tie a knot. The immediate benefit to your daily routine is that novelty triggers a massive dopamine spike. That spike acts like a powerful glue that reinforces overall memory networks across your entire brain. But to really maximize that dopamine spike, there is one crucial rule. You have to teach the new skill to someone within 24 hours. When you finally nail that new knot or that phrase in a foreign language, go show it to a friend or family member the very next day. Doing this forces those dopamine networks to adapt and evolve. Your overall memory will absolutely thank you for it. All right, that brings us to our fifth and final exercise, which is prioritizing quality sleep. And look, sleep isn't an absence of activity. It's actually a highly active process of filing, saving, and ultimately encoding information in your brain. The immediate benefit here is that it converts all of the previous day's inputs and learning into truly useful, accessible memory that you can recall on demand for an exam or a big work meeting. And the magic number you really need to be targeting is 6 to 8. We're talking 6 to 8 hours of quality sleep. Hitting that target ensures that you wake up fresh, and crucially, it gives your brain the time it needs to cement those neural connections we were talking about earlier. Without that time, the whole web just kind of falls apart. Dr. Warrior actually sums up the sleep problem perfectly. He says, it is like packing a suitcase, but forgetting to take it with us when we travel. That just hits the nail on the head, right? It vividly illustrates the sheer futility of studying or working hard all day long, absorbing all this great new info, and then totally failing to sleep. If you don't sleep, you're leaving the suitcase behind. You won't be able to use any of that powerful memory when you actually need it. So we've walked through the recall walk, working memory games, the memory palace, learning something new, and of course, prioritizing quality sleep. Going back to our computer metaphor from earlier, I want to leave you with this final, kind of provocative question. Which of these 5 software updates are you going to install in your brain tonight? Your brain is an incredibly adaptable piece of hardware, but it is entirely up to you to patch the software and strengthen that memory web. Pick just one of these exercises today, put it to the test, and start reclaiming your cognitive sharpness. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, keep learning.